Hey everyone, here's what my new story is all about. This is the story of Milo Bell, a quiet watchmaker whose life changes forever when he discovers he can steal time from his own life and give it to others. One rainy day, a mother comes into his shop, begging Milo to save her sick little boy by giving him just one more hour to live, laugh, and taste ice cream again. Milo agrees, but every time he lends time, the future changes in dangerous ways. It's a story full of mystery, emotion, and tough choices, because sometimes even 1 hour can mean everything. But the price of changing time might be higher than anyone can imagine. Watch the full story to find out how far Milo will go to save a life and what secrets time is hiding. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and like the video. Let's start the video. Milo Bell sat hunched over his workbench, the soft glow of the lamp reflecting off a scattered forest of gears, springs, and ruby bearings. The shop smelled of old brass and machine oil, a scent he'd grown up with, the same way some people grew up with the smell of cinnamon rolls or pine trees. He was, by all accounts, an ordinary watchmaker. Small shop, few customers. Quiet days punctuated by the tick of clocks lining the walls, except for the secret hidden in the back drawer. He'd stumbled upon it 5 years ago, quite by accident. A customer had brought in an antique pocket watch. Its mainspring snapped. Milo replaced it, cleaned the movement, and as he was reassembling the pieces, something changed. The gears glowed faintly blue beneath his tweezers. A low vibration hummed through his fingertips, as if the watch itself was alive. When he wound the key, he felt time stretch and slow. He blinked, and when he opened his eyes again, 30 minutes had passed on every clock in the shop, but he had not moved an inch. It terrified him at first. He tried to forget it. But curiosity is a cruel master, so he experimented. He learned that he could extract small bits of time, seconds, minutes, from his own life and store them in specially modified watches. Later, he discovered he could transfer those minutes to others. A gift, a miracle, a curse. Because every time he lent time to someone else, the future shifted in ways he couldn't always predict. Late one gray afternoon, the bell over his door jingled. "Mr. Bell?" A woman stood there, drenched from the drizzle outside. She was around 30, her eyes rimmed with exhaustion, hair pulled into a loose bun. In her arms, she held a little boy, maybe 6 years old, whose thin chest rose and fell with shallow breaths. "I heard you can help people," she said, voice trembling. "I don't know if any of it's true, but they say you can give people more time." Milo stared at the child's pale face. He saw the tubes peeking from under the blanket, the shadows beneath the boy's eyelids. "Sit down," Milo said gently. She settled into a chair, clutching the boy to her chest. "I can lend minutes," Milo said carefully. "But it's not free. The future can change. Things you never expect." The woman met his eyes. "He has a congenital heart defect. The doctors, they say he might not make it to the end of the month. I just want more time. Even a little. So he can feel the sun again, eat ice cream, laugh." Milo felt the old ache in his chest. He thought of his own father, taken swiftly by a heart attack, and how he would have traded years for one more day. "How much time?" he whispered. "An hour," she said. "That's all I'm asking." In the back room, Milo opened the drawer and withdrew a small silver pocket watch. Its face was blank, save for one delicate hand. He unwound the stem, feeling a sharp tug inside his chest, as if something invisible had hooked his own lifeline. 60 minutes drained away from him, and the watch's hand began to spin, glowing faintly blue. He carried it back to the woman. "Hold his wrist," Milo instructed. She did. Milo pressed the watch to the boy's pulse. The glow pulsed outward like ripples in water. The boy inhaled a deeper breath. Color rushed into his cheeks. His eyelids fluttered open. "Mommy?" he croaked. Tears spilled down her face. "Hi, baby, I'm here." The boy managed a weak smile. "Can we get ice cream?" Milo felt the weight of the minutes he'd lost. His joints ached suddenly, his vision blurred. 60 minutes gone, but he'd pay the price willingly. But he also felt the shift, a subtle vibration, as though the entire shop had tilted half a degree. The next morning, the news screamed of a freak accident. A city bus crashed through a guardrail downtown. 12 people injured. One fatality, a delivery cyclist who happened to be in the wrong place. Milo stared at the photograph. The young man on the bike was the same teenager who'd visited Milo's shop last week, begging for 5 minutes so he wouldn't be late to a job interview. Milo had refused him, knowing the risk. The man hadn't died that day, but today, he did. The timeline had shifted. Fate rebalanced the scales. Milo sat in the hush of his shop, the clocks ticking like distant drums. He knew what he'd done. The boy had one more hour, one more laugh, a taste of ice cream, and somewhere else time had exacted its price. That evening, as the sun set in honeyed gold over the rooftops, Milo opened the silver watch. The hand lay still. He wound it tight and placed it back in the drawer, locking it with trembling fingers. He would keep lending time, because sometimes an hour was everything, even if the world changed with every borrowed minute.